Hey guys, what's going on? I just got into discussion on the Facebook group that I run, so I'll leave a link in the description below and you can come and join the Facebook group if you're not already a member. And we were talking about Ben Sturgill and LottoX. So one question I had was, is there a track record? So I've written a review on this before. In fact, we can kind of go and look for that review right now if you want. Ben Sturgill, LottoX review. It's probably on Google somewhere. Here we go. This is my review right here. And so I'll leave a link in the description to this as well, so you can go and check it out. And so it's very easy for us to go through and say, hey, these trades come out every Thursday around lunchtime. It's a half-hour window. It's between 12:30 and 1 p.m. Eastern time. And basically, it's a handful of trade, typically about 5, that is released that expire the next day. So option contracts expire the next day, within 24 hours. And it is pretty exciting and fun. However, there's always this question about, like, are they profitable? And it's a very difficult question to answer in regards to this particular service because they're so volatile and everybody has their own risk reward. And Ben doesn't actually give like stop losses or targets or really anything in his newsletter. It's kind of like the Wild West. Really exciting, really fun. And you can do them with really small positions, but at the same time, they're also potentially very difficult to manage. And so in this article, I talk about how I generally do it. I haven't had a chance to play them for a while, but generally I day trade these and I'll take profits as soon as the batch of them are up 10, 20, 30% or so. But the way you're supposed to play them is holding them overnight, so boom or bust kind of deal. And so I was going to talk a little bit more about that because in this article I don't really address that much. I just show some kind of my results from day trading them. And so if you play them the way they're actually supposed to be played, and they're actually marketed like this where they say, look, these things can move massively. So this is the new landing page for LottoX. Ben will say, look, these things can move massively, 720% for Microsoft, for example. Or I'm sure there'll be another one, maybe not on this one. They'll often put multiple different examples where they're showing, oh, Twitter did change to 210%. And so one of the guys in the Facebook group was asking, hey, this is great, but how do we know these are not just cherry-picked? They could just be like 1 out of every 50 move up 200% and the rest go to 0, so it's a complete waste of time. And, overall would be a horrible net loss kind of situation. So I was telling him, I was like looking at the thing going, well, is there a way I can actually do this? Because these things are extremely hard to track. So if you go into the Raging Bull dashboard, if you're a member of LottoX, the 0 DTE trades are all listed. So there is a track record of every single trade alerted. The problem is, how do you judge when people are taking profits? There are no actual like buy sell alerts. There's just this list of ideas that comes out. And I'll show you them on November 3rd, and we can go through some of the ones here. So this is something, if you're signing up for the service, to realize it's not a typical buy-sell type of service. It's more of a list of stuff. So let me just kind of show you what you get. So this was November 3rd, so a couple of months ago now. And this is today's Lotto plays, and this is all you get is AMD long, contract 62 calls. Ethan sees the semiconductor name holding strong after earnings and likes it to the upside. These are trading around 0.52. I don't think you get anything else, at least not that I watch. I don't have the Raging Bull app, but I see him sending these out on the app as they come out. So you can get them pretty quickly if you want to. They don't always move really quickly, but it's usually worth trying to be pretty prompt with them if you're going to play them. And so the way I've been playing them is I basically buy a few contracts of each one. They're really cheap, $50 a time, $38, $64. So they're really cheap to get started with. The thing is, though, it's totally left up to you to manage them. And for some people, that's great. So the experienced traders out there really enjoy this because you can manage them yourself. It's kind of like the due diligence about the technicals, like the hourly squeeze has already been done for you by Ben and Ethan. And so these can be really fun. Just jump in them and juggle them. And I do like the service. The problem comes in trying to show like a track record, right? So what I'll try and show is I picked 2 months ago just randomly, so I don't have the time to go through every single week, but I thought I'd just do this random day, which was November 3rd, right here. So So what I did is I took these ones, which are the contracts that were alerted for the 0 DTE plays on November 3rd of 2022, and I put them into a spreadsheet, a Word document here. And so this is them right here. And then the next week, so what they do, and it's kind of cool, but it's still clunky, but at least it's something. It's what they do is that the next week, so if we go back to, so this was November 3rd, they were alerting these. And then if we go to November 10th, which is, it's another one. So a week later would be November 10th. Yes, down here. And so read more. And so what they do is each week they go through the winners. The problem is they only give the winners. So you can get a rough idea of what's happening. So they say back on November 3rd, we alerted these ones and what happened. And you can see that there are some successes. The How Long went up 368% overnight. GPM went up 330% overnight. Sophie went up 75% in 12 minutes, so you'd have to be quick on that one. Apple was the big winner, 500% overnight. And so this is great, and it keeps you motivated, like, wow, these are really moving. And you see this over and over. I can show you a lot more in a minute, but what I wanted to do is say, hey, but what are they missing out here? So this wasn't the complete list. It was most of them, but it wasn't the complete list. So what I did is I went to Word. I just put them into here. So you can see in green that I've put what they put on that thing I just showed you. So you can see that HAL jumped 368, JPM jumped 330, and so you can see these all match up with what I showed you, but they missed out BA in that email because it wasn't a big winner, and they missed out AMD. There was no mention of those two whatsoever. The rest were all accounted for, which is great. So you can see they were all big winners. So my big question here is, like, why is AMD and BA not mentioned on there? Were they losers? Were they really horrendous losers? Were they just small winners? Who knows? So what I thought is I could just have a quick look and show you what happened on AMD and BA, just in case you're curious about this service. So here are the days in question. This is around lunchtime here, where BA was alerted on the 3rd. And let's see what the contracts were. Let's see. BA. So yeah, BA was long. And so if you were to enter BA around lunchtime, which is about here, you would have had plenty time to take profits either the same day or early the next day. You definitely wanted to go out pretty quickly though, because the decay would have burned your thing. But it's not like these were horrendous losers. It just wasn't such a spectacular move as perhaps the other ones that they mentioned again the following week. So AMD we can do the same with. So that was BA. Let's do AMD now. It's just to give you kind of a rough idea, but it also shows why you have to be able to manage the trades yourself. I'm not sure if everybody that buys this fully would like understand that, like what this is. It's a due diligence service with what could move really well, and some people love it, some people hate it. It's a mixed bag. I really like it. So here we go. So this is the AMD around lunchtime, so it was pretty flat for most of the day, and then so I had a bit of a spike the next day, but that was about it really. So let's see what would have happened on AMD. So these were calls as well, so you got kind of burned on those. I mean, if you'd got out at the market open the next day, you might have been okay. Got a little bit of a move up, depending on how much the burn these were. So you can see the directions are usually correct. So it's not like bends off with the direction. It's just timing your exit is the big thing, right? Timing your entry and exit, and it's kind of left up to you. So it's definitely something, probably not for a total new trader. The good news is they're really small position sizes, and minimum position sizes can be really small, like $60. So you don't have to do that. Okay, so I can't go through every single one, but what I can do is if you guys leave a thing in the comments and say, hey, show us November 17th or December 30th or whatever, we can have a quick look now, but I'm not going to sit and go through every single LottoX trade, but we can have a look just to try and give you guys a better feel for like what the percentage of winners really is. So that was November 10th, well, November 3rd. Let's have a look at what happened the next week, just since we're here. So November 17th. So we'll get to see what happened because they have this section in their last week's thing. So here's last week's 0 DTE trades. Apple again did it did a huge move, 853% overnight. Microsoft did 605% overnight. Wow, this is pretty good. AMD did 695% overnight. Okay, so that was 3 of them, right? So 3 of them did triple-digit percentage moves, nearly 1,000% on some of these. So even if the other ones had gone to 0, then there's a very good chance if you'd been able to play these right, you'd have been fairly positive. So you can see that every week there's something that moves relatively, a lot. So we can go back. I haven't organized this, but we can just see. So Apple, Microsoft, AMD were all winners, which is nice. Let's keep going, see what happened like a week or 2 later. How about December 1st? See what happened the week before that. So they have the today's lotto plays, but they also have they're not putting any here. Let's see. Love to hear today's lotto plays. So they haven't got that section here. Let's go back and see. Let's pick another one randomly. How about this one? So this is from the week before. So last week 0 DTE plays on the 12th, 8th. So Microsoft 65% in about an hour. So it's the sort of thing I'd be doing. NVDA was 432% overnight. PFE was 254% overnight. Yeah, so there's lots of big moves happening, but there's also ones that probably didn't do too well. I wish there was a way to kind of show like how this works in terms of like every trade. The problem is because they're so crazy volatile and they're open to interpretation. If you can hold them overnight, you're going to hit a lot of winners, like big winners, but you're also going to get quite a few duds as well. And how you cut your losses and things is going to be really important. And unfortunately, the service does lack that guidance from what I've seen. And so I don't recommend it for a complete new trader, but I do recommend it overall. It's kind of fun, especially if you have friends doing it to go through them. Let's click on this really quick and see. So this was last week's 0 DTEs. So it's actually Wednesday, so tomorrow there's a fresh batch coming out. But just randomly looking at these ones. So another batch to look at randomly. So F was 107%, MRK was 539% overnight, UAL was 288% overnight, Riot was 106% overnight. And you know how many they roughly have, so you can kind of gauge that this is like, well, probably most of the ones that were mentioned the week before. So they don't all work. Sometimes you'll have weeks where they all move triple digit percent moves, and then some weeks that they don't, none of them do. So definitely a mixed bag. It's a lot of fun. I do recommend the service, and they've just lowered the price. I think, let's see if we can find the landing page. So the price has actually gone down quite a bit. So I'm not sure if the price has. What they've done is they've added a quarterly subscription for $100, $99. So for 3 months for that, you can get the LottoX quarterly, which is pretty good value. It's normally $79 a month, so you're getting 3 months for $99, which is really cool. And I'd recommend you guys, like, if you're watching this and you're interested in this high risk, high reward style of trading, you might find some value in it, and see how it goes. All right, guys. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon.